I'm Molly.
I'm Julie,
And I'm Jen.
and welcome to Folks Forever, a Lois and Clark rewatch podcast.
We're three fans who've been loving LNC since 1993.
Each week we'll recap one episode and talk about at least one LNC related topic.
If you would like to learn more about who we are, how we became folks, and or how we became friends, check out our intro episode.
I have news. We
Do
officially
you have a puppy?
okay,
Do you have a puppy?
no, that's not here yet. But our dogs have done the KGW Great Toy Drive for like 9 years, right? And so they weren't sure the future of the toy drive. Well, we got official word today that toy drive is a go, and Walter gets to go and film his little commercial that he does. So
That's
he's
exciting.
gonna film it on October 21st.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's soon.
I know.
Ish.
Well, I mean, yeah, typically we film sometime in October because it, goes
Yeah.
live in November. So yay. But I'm excited. So this makes year 10. We've officially been doing it for a decade.
That's
Which makes-
exciting.
Yay.
That makes me happy.
Today we're going to be discussing Season 1, Episode 14, Illusions of Grandeur. We also have the scoop on where and when Lois and Clark first aired all around the world. Illusions of Grandeur first aired on January 23rd, 1994. Topping the musical charts that week was All for Love, sung by Sting, Rod Stewart, and Bryan Adams. You also had The Power of Love by Celine Dion. Somewhat new to the charts, but climbing, Sign by Ace of Base, Choose by Color Me Bad, Now and Forever by Richard Marx, and What a Man by Salt and Peppa featuring En Vogue.
Wow.
What a man. What a man, what a man, what a man.
I feel
It's
like
gonna
there's
be
at
stuck in
least
my head.
one Lois and Clark promo out there with What a Man.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, there is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because they couldn't not back in the 90s. Why wouldn't you?
What a mighty good man. Yikes.
Every LNC episode had a title. Sometimes they were puns, like this one. Illusions of Grandeur is a play on the term delusions of grandeur, which oddly enough was a phrase uttered in an earlier episode. And since this episode is about magic and illusions, well, there you go. Jen, do you have any memories of your first time seeing this episode?
Just disappointment.
Dun,
Well, I
dun,
got-
dun, dun, dun.
I don't
Just-
not much. Just yeah.
Love
Just
it.
Sorry.
disappointment. Did you like throw down the remote and be like, I'm never watching this show again?
Oh no. I was just mad because we had this amazing run, right? And the last episode was
Witness.
Witness was good. It wasn't, it wasn't honeymoon, but I just knew the capabilities and I was like, this is baloney.
Well, for me, strangely enough, this was one of those ones where I sort of wandered into the TV room halfway into it while my mom and brother were watching. Because I distinctly remember wandering in during the scene where they go to pay the ransom and there's that, illusion of the kid and Superman gets hypnotized. And I remember being interested enough to want to continue watching to the end of the episode because that was like, this is a twist. So I saw half of it.
What you're saying is that was the kid episodes that like sucked you in.
Well, yes.
So, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, hate them or what?
Yeah.
Whatever it took. I mean, we're here now.
They hooked you, so whatever they did worked.
What about you, Julie?
I am on the same lines as Jen. Disappointment. We had some good episodes, and then Witness was an okay episode, still good. Then this one was a stinker. Like, I
Yeah.
still do not like this one. This is down there on the bottom for me.
Oh,
Sorry.
hey, no, that's
Okay, you have to have the bad ones
I
to
don't-
appreciate the good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Let's get through the next couple and then get back on
Yeah.
track.
It's gonna get far worse come, a few seasons away. There's gonna be some doozies.
well, that's true.
So we're just gonna consider this a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it's not the worst of the worst at all.
No, it's not.
Before we get into our more detailed discussion of illusions of grandeur, we'll be giving our very own summaries in 16 words or less.
So mine is really dumb. Actually, I just read it back. Okay. There are a bunch of kids and magic boxes, and I'm bored.
A bunch of kids. There's literally like two, but okay.
There's three, right? There's that little girl that's
Yeah, I don't know. Kids, magic boxes, snore.
Say that in the lowest voice. Kids. Look at the camera.
kids.
What's the matter with kids today? Just kidding. The funny thing is, I love kids. I work with them. They're my life, basically, but I don't want to watch them on my TV, apparently. I don't know.
Mine is hypnotizing people is easy, apparently, and can net you extra money. Nobody tell Lex about this.
Nice.
He'll find out. All right, mine is the moon and the stars in a magic box lead to kidnapped children and mayhem.
Nicely done.
Sure.
No. That's very, very good.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
So, yeah. So originally Jen was going to be the first part. She graciously covered for me because I accidentally did the entire first part, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, can we switch?" So Jen has allowed us to switch, and I have the first part
Yay.
today.
It's all good.
Awesome.
I hope the second part wasn't terrible to you.
Oh, no, it was
Okay.
just fine. I mean, considering I hadn't done it yet, I had procrastinated, so you caught me at a good time. Our guest stars for this episode are Ben Vereen. He played Dr. Andre Novak. He is best known for All That Jazz and Top 5, and he also did Silk Stockings, How I Met Your Mother, and Hot in Cleveland. We also have Marietta DePrima, who played Constance. She's best known for Lady Bird and the Hughleys. What's that, Molly?
Boo, Constance.
Boo, Constance. Yeah, she's not nice. We also have Eve Plum, played Rose Collins. Holy smokes, never connected this before. She was Jan on the Brady Bunch. My brain just exploded. I didn't even recognize her. Did you guys
I
recognize
didn't
her? Like,
either.
am I under a
Uh-uh.
rock here?
Nope.
No
Nope, I
way.
didn't
Yes,
either.
I've always known her.
I mean, I
Brady,
see
man.
it now. Jarrett Lennon played Nikki Collins. He was in 3 episodes of Cheers, 3 episodes of Freaks and Geeks, and 1 episode of Gilmore Girls. He didn't have a lot in his resume, so I just picked the ones that he did. And I love Cheers. I have to say that one. Stephen Burley, I hope I'm saying that right, played Mr. Moscow. He was in a few episodes of General Hospital. Penn Jillette played Darren Romick. He is a magic guy from the duo Penn and Teller. He's the one that does most of the talking, and he's done a number of TV specials. Ta-da! That's what I've got.
Yay.
I wanted to point out Jarrett Lennon was also the original Mark on Step by Step, and he can be seen in the whole the first season when they're at the carnival. You can see him instead of the other Mark. Yeah, in the opening theme. Yeah. So between him and oh gosh, what's her face from I'm Looking Through You?
This is Molly from the future saying Patrika Darbo.
And then Stacey Keenan, we have some interesting
Step by Step, yeah.
step-by-step connections going on our show.
Wow.
And also the kid who plays Chris, all I ever think of him is he was in an episode of Friends as kid in orthodontist chair.
Oh, nice. And I didn't cover him. I didn't cover the kids because the other kids.
It's all right. I'll
Sorry.
point him out. What's
kids.
his name is?
I got it right here. It is Christopher Miranda.
They gave him the same name as himself. This is true. Your name is Christopher, and you will play Christopher. Okay.
Christopher.
Since I'm here, best known for Man of the House, Family Album, and My Life, and also Lois and Clark. He's best known for Lois and Clark, guys. So,
Of course he is.
but no,
I
he
mean-
did Seventh Heaven, Party of Five, Friends. So it's fine. All right.
I feel like IMDb is wrong about this episode because it has Hal Sparks as a skateboarder. He wasn't in this, right? Am I crazy?
No, I don't think
Okay.
he's in this. All right, here we go. Noble listeners, we are gathered here today in the sight of the moon and the stars and in the presence of felonious magicians to review this most goofy episode full of tricks, hypnosis, kidnapping, and Superman knocking over parking meters. We do not enter into this recap lightly, but with due reverence for the decree that all TV shows in the 70s, 80s, and 90s must produce at least one episode involving magicians, circuses, or chimpanzees. Lois and Clark was only following in the grand tradition, and if anyone has any objections to this assertion, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. Now, when I count down from 3 and snap my fingers, you will awake refreshed and remember none of what I have just said. 3, 2, 1.
All right,
What?
moving on to episode 15.
Here we go. What's the next
We're
episode?
done.
Not a great one. We all remember nothing.
And everyone had a blast. Thanks for joining us today.
No. We open on a scene in the sky in which Superman is trying to relax amongst the clouds when he suddenly finds himself in the path of a bunch of Canadian geese. Those mean birds go honking past, knocking into him. Superman says disgustedly, "So much for a nice Sunday flight."
We're not.
Are you okay?
Sorry. It's such a stupid scene. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's pointless and it's silly and it's not done well.
His acting
I was-
was not Emmy
actor.
Award winning. Yeah.
And it's very unflattering way to fly. He's got a little bit of camel
Thank
toe
you for
going
saying
on.
it. Thank you for saying it. It is accurate.
It's not so good.
I feel like they just put that in there so that it wouldn't start on the kids running down the hill, because then you'd be like, what show am I watching? You need to know that you're watching Lois and Clark.
True.
And back then they didn't have that like S shield flying up to tell you what you're watching. And
That's true.
but yeah,
Sure.
it's
They could have
cringy.
come up with something else. Yeah. Not flying with the pigeons.
The pigeons.
Next, we see 2 kids running down some steps outside a mansion. They're racing each other, then wrestling, and suddenly they see something strange in the yard. It's a big blue box with celestial symbols all over it. One of the boys, Nicky, says to the other, Chris, that maybe Chris's father sent this box as a surprise from his trip. The boys read the words at the top of the box. Open the lid and step inside, and you'll go on a magic ride. Chris is a bit apprehensive, but Nicky decides to hop in. Nothing happens. Maybe close the lid? Chris closes the lid with Nicky inside and then calls out, "What's it feel like?" No response. Chris opens the lid and it's empty. Nicky is nowhere to be seen. Chris, shocked, runs back toward the house and our theme song begins. Now we're at a Daily Planet staff meeting where Jimmy is trying to pitch a story to Perry about the Queen dancing in a fountain, but Perry isn't having it. We learn Lois and Clark have been working on a story about rich kids getting kidnapped, but each was returned safely after the ransom was paid. The kids' parents and the police refuse to say much about the case, which means that Lois and Clark really don't have much to write about. The conference room door opens and in walks Kat. She's looking nothing like herself. A suit, hair in an updo, gloves, glasses. Did you want to describe this outfit, Jen? I can leave that to you if you want, actually.
I mean, I didn't write too much about it. I just wrote that she's in a professional suit and glasses. Her hair's in an updo. But she's still carrying around a banana, so she's still in there.
She is carrying a banana. She tells the others that she's dressed up because she's having lunch with Arthur Chow. Jimmy notes that Arthur is even richer than Lex Luthor, to which Lois feels the need to point out, not as handsome as Lex. Dang, why not just shoot Clark with kryptonite? Come on.
Yeah,
He's right there.
exactly.
Also, Arthur Chow. What happened to Albert Chow? Is this a goof or are they brothers? And did one usurp the other? I want the fanfic about this because
I didn't even catch that.
in Requiem, when Lex was talking about the richest people in the world, it was Albert Chow, and now it is Arthur.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Anyway, it turns out Kat is after this.
Close enough.
wealthy man and has changed her wardrobe and I guess personality in order to land him.
Good luck with that.
While this is going on, sorry, do you want
No, it's a
you
good
want to
luck
talk
with
about the
that.
banana or
The banana.
just eating the banana throughout this entire scene. It's like on one hand, Kat has been eating a lot of fruit lately. We've seen that in
Mhm.
other episodes. On the other hand, it's a banana. And
It's a banana.
Kat.
And it's cat. Exactly. She just can't hold it in. She has to ooze out in one way or another, whether it's physically
Yeah, she's in her
or
suit. She's like, I will be sexy one way
yeah.
or the other.
I know, exactly.
Of a banana.
I refuse to conform.
While this is going on, a lady with red hair walks into the newsroom and sits down at Clark's desk. She's crying a little bit, which Clark overhears, and so he excuses himself to go see what's up, and Lois follows him. They learn the lady's name is Rose and that she's the mother of Nicky, the boy we saw get into the magic box earlier. Rose works for the wealthy Moskal family, and it comes out that the kidnappers likely meant to kidnap Chris Moskal, the other boy, but got Rose's son Nicky instead. Rose wants Lois and Clark to help her. Somehow, like, I don't know, put a story in the paper telling the kidnappers they took the wrong kid. She's clearly not thinking straight, but Lois and Clark try to comfort her, and they then head over to the Moskal house to talk to Chris. While they're waiting outside the mansion, Lois notices a little statue and makes a guess as to its worth. Clark tells her that it's actually worth a bunch as it's a Remington bronze. I know this has nothing to do with the plot of the episode, but I always like those small moments where we're reminded that Clark is well traveled and knows a lot about cultured stuff. Most of the time, the writers forget that, so yay.
I agree.
Good on you, writers. But did you see when they touched it, the whole pillar moved?
Well, was it when Clark
yeah.
touched it? Or...
Yeah, maybe it was Superman.
There you
If
go.
Lois
That could have
touched
been
it.
Like the whole pillar was like.
Oh dear.
It reminds me of the freezer that Clark moves in a future episode where he's like carrying the freezer and he sets it down and then it like wobbles.
Yeah.
It's cardboard.
It's very,
Oh my gosh.
very light.
How heavy was that, Clark?
Yeah.
Was it a freezer or a filing cabinet? I think.
Oh, what? Yeah, whatever it was
I
in
don't
Arth
know.
and Jonathan's
Something.
that he
It was
moved.
something
Yeah.
awkward. It looked awkward.
Rose comes outside with Chris, the other kid, and Rose shows Lois and Clark the ransom note. Lois and Clark ask Chris about the kidnapping. Chris says he remembers a magic box with stars and a moon painted on it. Also, that it was shiny. He seems distressed. Just then, we hear a voice from off screen. Chris's parents have returned from their safari. Mr. and Mrs. Moskal had been alerted by Rose as to what happened to Nicky, and Mr. Moskal intends to pay the ransom and get Nicky back. Mr. Moskal is annoyed that Lois and Clark are there and basically tells them to stay out of it because the kidnapper's note said not to involve the authorities. L and C tell him they understand that, but also they want to help stop kids from they want to stop these kidnappings. Mr. Moskal does not care about the other potential victims and children and basically tells them to get lost.
I love how they're in khakis.
The
I love that
parents
they're
are
in
dressed
khakis.
like the safari.
Oh, yeah.
Do people wear that stuff? Do they
How
really
would you know they were
dress
on a
like
safari
that?
if they didn't? I mean, come
yeah.
on.
Okay.
Back at the Daily Planet, Clark and Lois are kind of stuck, unsure what to do next. Clark says, they do have one lead, though. Chris Moskal said he saw a magic box. And Kat and Arthur Chow have a charity magic gala event happening tonight. Magic box, magic show, flimsy lead. Yes, actually. Lois calls BS. And eventually she does agree to go, even though, as she tells Clark, she hates magic.
Was this Clark's way of just getting a date? Or was he really thinking, oh, magic, let's try to connect it this. I mean, I feel like it's reaching a little bit.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go, and this was a way to
Eh.
get her to go with him. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
maybe a
I
little.
agree.
Because she didn't want to go, but
Sloppy writing kind of, but
no, you make
I
a
don't
good
know.
point because Kat did give everybody tickets, And Clark
Yeah.
obviously wanted to go, and Lois obviously didn't. And he used this to convince her to go.
Hmm. So maybe it was just luck that it happened to actually relate to the story
Yeah,
that they're
he lucked
writing.
out.
How convenient.
It was very convenient.
Mhm. Okay. Lois and Clark arrive at the gala where they run into Kat outside. Kat tells them she's off in a limo to go meet Arthur's mother, and that Perry and Jimmy are inside. Sure enough, Perry and Jimmy are watching a man, Dr. Novak, hypnotize a woman as part of an act. Perry thinks it's all baloney, and he says so. So Dr. Novak invites Perry to come up and get hypnotized. Perry's so sure it's bunk that he agrees to do it, but lo and behold, it seems to work. Dr. Novak asks the audience for a post-hypnotic suggestion, and Jimmy says,
Yeah, I got one.
more on that later.
Probably the best part of this episode.
Yeah. Though I do like when they're arriving to the Magic Club and that creepy mime like puts the dove right in her face and it's like flapping.
Mhm.
That was great.
Yeah.
How
Creepy
rude.
mime.
That would freak me out.
Clark got hit by birds at the beginning of the episode. Lois is getting hit by birds here.
Hmm.
It
Bird
makes
heavy
good for
episode.
Jen's
And Jen's
section,
happy.
but
I know.
Plus one.
There's one. There's
A
another
bird.
one.
Did you count all of the geese?
I did not.
16
I
days.
Did you actually count? Oh, okay. I did not. I was like, no,
No.
I'm not doing that. I was sorry. Like, I love when there's animals on the scene, but this episode, I was just trying to get through it, so did not stop to count. I was like, just keep going.
Meanwhile, in another room, Lois and Clark walk in, and Clark says,
Look, it's Darren Romick, the greatest illusionist alive.
Lois says, now how do you know that? And Clark whips out a paper program, points at it, and says, it says so right here. That is the kind of corny humor we like to see on this show. I'm sorry, or at least I do.
It's
great.
true.
Lois and Clark sit down at a table and have a short discussion about magic and why Lois doesn't like it. Clark posits it's because Lois likes knowing how things work, and with magic shows and illusions, she doesn't have all the answers. Lois tells him,
That is not true. I like being surprised, as long as I know about it in advance.
I mean, I don't like that he calls her a control freak at one point, or says like this is control freak behavior,
Classic control freak behavior.
Well, thank you, Dr. Freud.
which is in a nice.
Classic control freak behavior. Yeah.
While they're talking, there's a little lamp on the table and the shade is crooked, and Lois fixes it. Clark sees this and messes it up again to see if she'll fix it again. Okay, Clark, stand down. We see your point. Come on, leave her alone.
You saying that my life is boring?
I'm saying it could use a little mystery every once in a while, that's all.
That actually wasn't in the script, or at least not the script that I had. So I wondered if they added it to the script later or if that was an ad lib, because I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked
with
it.
what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys ever do that where like something's crooked and you like go and fix it, or do you just leave it?
Oh, 100%. I cannot leave things.
Oh,
crooked?
That drives me nuts.
No.
If I notice, yes, but sometimes I don't notice. But if I do, laser vision.
Crooked lampshades. Yeah, crooked lampshades are hard to look at. So I get it.
I like this scene here because even though it's quick, it's a little dive into Lois and Clark's differing personalities. We saw it in Pheromone Way Lovely when they're talking about playing hooky. At the beginning of All Shook Up with their wildly different coffee choices. During Honeymoon in Metropolis with the board games. And I really enjoy these scenes where they're kind of arguing, but in a fun way. They're getting to know each other and we're getting to know them. But sadly,
Yeah.
back to the plot.
Blah, blah.
The aforementioned Darren Romick is currently on stage doing some card tricks. He introduces us to his assistant, Constance, who looks like she has a bird tail thing going on. And today when I was watching it, she kind of reminds me of the bee girl from the Blind Melon video. Like she's got the same color scheme happening.
Okay.
I'm sure that wasn't a choice, but it's
Yeah.
there. It's there.
I could see that.
He does a magic trick involving a cow, during which he uses a big box with celestial symbols. Lois is like, that looks like the box from the kidnapping. And she tells Clark, we've got a lead. Okay, sure.
I have the draft script of this one. It is not a cow in my script. It is an orangutan.
Oh,
I love that it's a cow because we have been owed a cow. We did not get our cow in Smallville when we were
Absolutely.
supposed to. And I've been
Uh-huh.
waiting for this moment. So thank you.
yeah. And it's big and
I
it's
think
funny. And
I
yeah.
think it's more impressive because it's huge. Because any magician could have a monkey or like
Yeah.
an ape or something. But a cow? Who has a giant cow backstage?
Totally. So it appears to be the next morning. Moskal is on his doorstep explaining to Lois and Clark that he sent his kid away for safekeeping. Lois is asking for information about the box that his kids saw, and Moskal is getting kind of pissed, saying that he doesn't want there to be an investigation. Just then, Rose Collins walks over and tells him that he has a phone call. She then tells Lois and Clark that he's meeting with the kidnapper with the money and it will all work out. So later that evening, they're meeting. Don't worry about it. It's just going to be fine. Jimmy and Kat are at the planet, and Kat is dressed in her librarian costume. So Jimmy asks her if she has another date with Chow. She goes on to say that it's stifling in her dress, and she rips it off to reveal a skin-tight neon dress underneath. Lois walks in and asks what happened to the new you. Kat says that the old her wanted out for a while, and she proceeds to use the opportunity to dig at Lois, calling her clothes straitjackets. Lois gets her back by saying, hey, what's Arthur Chow doing here? And in a fit of panic, Kat whirls around and hides behind her desk. And Lois just kind of laughs it off and says that was too easy. Clark then walks over and announces,
2 o'clock, the Magic Club. Darren Romick wasn't there, but his assistant said she'd be glad to talk to us.
So Jimmy wants to come, but Lois questions him, saying that Perry probably wouldn't go for it. Jimmy says that he can handle this, and he walks over and presents it to Perry.
Come on, I'll bring my camera and maybe even write a sidebar. What do you say, Chief?
And then Perry lifts his hand up and says,
That's brilliant, Olson.
and Jimmy's like, I think things are finally going to be a little different around here. Yeah. So now Lois and Clark are at the Magic Club walking around with Constance. Clark explains that they're there due to kidnapping and explains the connection of the magic box. Lois asks how the box works. So Constance begins to explain when she's interrupted by Dr. Novak. He walks in and scolds Constance for sharing secrets. Dr. Novak then asks Jimmy how their experiment is going. Clark's confused and is then told that they're trying to get a little something on Perry. Every time Jimmy says Chief, Perry says he's brilliant. Lois scolds Jimmy and then asks if it will work if she says it too. Just then, Romick walks in saying, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so remember in my section when Dr. Novak asked anybody in the audience for a post-hypnotic suggestion and Jimmy said he had one. Well, here it is. We find out that Jimmy got Perry hypnotized.
Bad Jimmy.
Bad boy.
But brilliant.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea if you're Jimmy, because everything he's been saying was getting shot down. So Lois scolds Jimmy and then asks if it will work if she says it too. Just then, Romick walks in saying visitors aren't welcome until after 6. He asks if they want to see an illusion, and Lois says no, but he proceeds to do one anyway. Romick pulls out a deck of cards, explaining that she should say coal when she sees a black card and fire when she sees a red card. So Lois follows the directions until a red card comes up, and he disappears and leaves everyone stumped and looking around. I always pictured in this scene the cards went flying, and I thought in my memory that there was fire coming out of it. But watching it this time, I kept waiting, and it didn't happen. Does anybody else like, why is my brain working the way that it,
Well, because she
I
says
thought the
fire.
same thing. Yeah.
okay. She says fire, which
And
maybe,
they do like recoil as if
yeah, but it's just like a puff of smoke and he disappears.
Oof.
And the cards don't like go out, they don't shoot out or do anything. I don't know. But I did notice that much. I was like, oh, that's weird. I don't remember it being like that. So
maybe the hypnosis worked on you,
maybe.
Jen.
Mm-hmm. That's probably what it is. So back at the Daily Planet, Clark has looked into the makers of the magic box and says that there were only 2 made with that specific design, and they both belong to Darren Romick. Color us all shocked. Lois says she thinks that they have enough for a preliminary story, and then says, "What do you think, Chief?" And he just looks at her funny. Obviously, it doesn't work because it's not Jimmy's voice, and that was kind of explained earlier that it has to be Jimmy's voice. So Perry just looks at Lois like she's crazy and says, "No way." Then Jimmy walks over with a picture of the Pope at a Madonna concert. He's convinced that famous people are doing some strange things lately. And he's still trying to push all these stories, and he ends it with Chief. And of course, we get the hypnotic Perry saying, "That's brilliant, Jimmy."
So did he eventually write the Pope story? Because that was him asking to write it. And Perry agrees, basically. So did he write it?
Mhm. I assumed that he would have.
Well, now that we all have these weird false memories inserted about this episode, that we've realized, but I don't know what to trust anymore. However, I think there's a short line coming up and maybe in Julie's section where Lois mentions that Jimmy has had some bylines in the last few days.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think he has written these stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Bad Jimmy.
I do have a question. Do you guys think that you can really hypnotize someone to do something like this? And if
What?
so, like, do you think that basically hypnotizing someone, do you believe in that stuff? Do you think that you could put dangle a stopwatch or whatever in front of someone's face saying, when you hear this word, you're going to do XYZ?
I don't think so to the extent that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've seen it a lot lately, and especially in our country, people doing some really stupid things because someone else tells them to, without using much thought, but it's not exactly
Yeah.
hypnosis, but it's there, the
Right. It's not
human brain.
Right.
it's not a watch hanging and dangling in front. But yeah, I mean, I think people can fall victim to things, but this is so like you're gonna do this when you hear this word. It just seems
Mhm.
so almost
It,
unbelievable. And this is me coming from a science background. I don't get it. I don't follow it. I don't think it's believable.
no,
I
and I
get
don't
it. It's
think,
a Superman show. Like I'll buy it
yeah,
for the show, but I don't know.
no, and if it was a real thing, if it would be catastrophic. If Constance was smarter, she could have used this to do amazingly awful things, and instead she
Mhm.
botched it all. But
Yeah.
if it was really that easy that she makes it seem so easy, ooh, we'd be in big trouble. So
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
no, I don't think it's real at all. But it's
Okay.
fun. It's a show. It's
Yeah.
a little
I mean,
adventure
and
show.
if it did work, my next question, not to make this go on longer than it needs to, but my next question would be, what would you hypnotize someone to do? Because I know what I would have someone do.
Hmm? You mean if like we were the only people in the world that had that power?
Yeah.
Because yeah, oh,
So like
I
if
would.
I yeah, if someone says something,
Well,
what would you have them
a
do?
long time ago when I hypnotized ABC to not cancel our show. And
Oh, hey,
like,
there you
Jamie
go.
Tarsis, put that right back on the air, madam. She'd be like, fine.
I like it. Julie, what would you do?
That's a hard question. I don't know. Somehow get out of work, that's for sure.
And okay, that's where I'm going with mine. Snow days, school.
Yeah.
I want a snow day. So I call the station. I say, snow day. School's canceled the next day.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing
Paid
would
days
be
off.
we would have snow days all the time. that would be. So yeah, thanks for answering. I don't know why I felt like I needed to go there, but thought it was a good question. Okay. So anyway, Clark brings up how unethical this all is. Lois says she plans to be there when Moskal meets with the kidnapper. Clark calls her out, saying that it's too dangerous, and they bicker back and forth for a little bit while Jimmy just watches. Suddenly, Lois backs down. You know something's up. She backs down. Clark tells her that he's proud of her and will meet her at the Moskal estate first thing in the morning. And as Clark gets up to leave and walks away, Lois takes a bite of her sandwich, and you see a little glimmer in her eye. She's up to something. And yep, she's going to do what she wants. Jimmy asks if she's feeling okay, and Lois tells him to go get his camera. Now Lois and Jimmy are hiding in the dark in some abandoned amusement park. They watch a gray car pull up in the night, and Moskal gets out shouting,
I'm here! I'm alone! I have the money!
Suddenly, the lights flash on, and the amusement park lights up with sounds and movement. We see Nicky waving, and he's looking like he's in some sort of trance. Superman flies in and tries to grab the kid, but it's an illusion of grandeur.
I was waiting for that.
Moskal asks where the boy is, and Superman responds that he was never here. Jimmy can't shoot because there's not enough light, so they don't get any photos. Superman is stopped by some dark figure that proceeds to hypnotize Superman.
Yeah.
The sigh that just emanated from her.
Yeah.
And he looks cross-eyed. I don't like the scene at all.
It's not as bad as the eyes have it cross-eyed, but it's still bad.
Oh,
I don't know
agreed.
why. Hypnotizing and blind, you are cross-eyed.
Looking at the tip of your nose. Yeah, no, we should do a side-by-side comparison of the two, because whoa.
Oh, this one's better. This one's way
Please
better.
don't.
We lost
Maybe when
Molly.
maybe when we do that other episode, then we can go back.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
think we
we'll
should
go
it
back.
now.
Okay, we won't do it now, but yeah. It's bad. It's bad. And then we hear
He looks like no, what I think it looks like, it's not as bad as like the cross-eyed from that episode, but it looks like he's about to sneeze for me. Like he just like that face you get right before you're gonna sneeze, like I don't-
yeah.
it's just ridiculous.
That's funny. Oh dear. That's funny.
Did Photoshop like a little bee on his nose and then like Winnie the Pooh?
So how come he didn't get an Emmy nom for this episode? That's what I'm wondering.
Because Emmys isn't for weird faces and bad acting.
Okay.
Sorry. But
Oh,
Sorry,
funny.
Dean.
Good.
We all have
But-
our bad days,
No.
right? This was just a bad episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't his best, but it wasn't wasn't the series' best either. So maybe he was on the same page as that. So we hear the moon and the stars. And then the door opens to the car. Nicky runs out. Superman goes and grabs him, puts him out the car. This show, I swear.
No, Superman, it's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Then Superman flies off, and Lois and Jimmy both run over and basically say, what the bleep?
As do I. Because
Yeah.
why did Superman get involved?
Absolutely.
He
And
knew
why
that all these other kids had been returned. Why didn't he? I mean, maybe he'd have gotten hypnotized anyway, but why didn't he let Nicky get back to the dad and then he could go after the limousine or something?
Yeah. Yeah. And how does he get hypnotized? Why? Why does Superman get hypnotized? He's not above that.
Well, I mean,
I
it's
don't
like
know.
what they'll say there's like a later scene where Martha and Jonathan are like, well, you were, you went to public school just like everybody else. Like maybe there's something in
Yeah.
where you're susceptible.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to knock public school. I just meant to be like, he's a normal guy. He was
Yeah,
raised
yeah.
like a normal guy.
Yeah, no, totally.
That sounded really bad. Low. Like,
No, he
Yeah.
was raised just like anyone else. So yeah.
So
His brain
I
thinks
just
like
feel like,
everybody else. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
but I've struggled with why he got how he was so easily fooled by this hypnosis. I'm not buying it.
no, agreed. It made for a compelling episode as a when I was 13, but I'm like, what? What? He's knocking over parking meters? What? I gotta watch
I
this. But
know.
nowadays I'm like, oh my goodness.
He's being bad.
Mhm.
It makes you wonder, like, what would the world look like if Superman was bad? Now we know he'd knock over parking meters.
Do not
That is
like.
what he would do. Well, you guys struggled watching this episode. I had to watch it and read it. So
Oh,
I
that's
had that.
bad.
When I read the script, there really wasn't that much different. I was kind of disappointed a little bit because in a draft script, usually it's, there's a lot of changes. The
Uh-huh.
one thing that I noticed was that Nikki was riding a horse on the carousel, not just standing there. So he was
Oh,
just like doo 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 doo, riding around the carousel.
That's creepy.
I wonder
Wow.
why
I
they
like
didn't do
it.
that. Yeah,
That'd be a lot harder, I think, to do.
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, every time he went around to the wrong side, they'd be like, oh, now we can't film. Come back.
Now we have to
Come
wait
back.
until it goes all the way around. Yeah, circle back.
Well, plus they got to make him disappear when he's moving. That'd be harder
Mm.
for effects to do, maybe.
Hmm.
Easier
Yeah,
when him just standing there frozen.
true.
I don't know.
And if they're filming it at night, they probably can only have the kid on set for so long. It just takes probably more time and it's dark. People are ready to go home. Lois and Jimmy are at Lois's desk the following morning, and Clark walks over reading the headlines, looking dazed and confused. Lois pops up out of her chair and apologizes to Clark for going behind his back and risking it. Clark asks if the story in the paper is correct because he doesn't remember any of it.
Are you sure that Superman was hypnotized last night?
I can't think of any other explanation for it.
He just gave the boy back to the kidnapper.
He clearly was not in control of what he was doing. It really worried me.
Me too.
Perry walks in and says that there was no evidence left at the scene. Lois says that they all saw it, even Moskal. Perry says that Moskal's not talking and explains that Perry believes them, but he needs something concrete. Jimmy brings up an idea ending on the word chief, and Perry says he's brilliant. And they all just kind of look defeated.
I think it's kind of out of character, but sweet too, that Lois apologizes to Clark
Mhm.
for going without him. Like, how many times
Yeah.
does that happen in season one?
It doesn't. Yeah, usually she dies on the hill that she's standing on. And this time she's kind of like, okay, yeah, I didn't make the best choice.
Yeah, and
That's
she's
all.
not even the one that had the issue. Superman made the bad choice. He shouldn't have got
Mhm.
involved.
Exactly.
Lois was just watching.
The phone at Lois's desk rings, so Lois says she's going to meet Constance. Lois and Clark go their separate ways. Clark leaves, and Lois goes to meet with Constance. So now Lois is walking with Constance, discussing Romick. She explains that Darren Romick went through a hard time with gambling and was financially wiped out. About 3 months ago, he got rich again, but it was from an anonymous benefactor. Lois decides that maybe he got rich from a series of kidnappings. As Lois explains her plan to Constance, we see Romick pop out from behind the curtain, and he's heard it all. Dr. Novak is hypnotizing a little girl. Clark is sitting next to her, and the girl is dismissed to her mother. Clark asks him, Dr. Novak, what he thinks, and Dr. Novak definitely suspects hypnosis. He says that it's so powerful that he can't reverse it. The only thing that they all seem to remember is the night sky, particularly the moon and the stars.
So this little girl was one of the kidnapping victims previously, yeah? Dr.
I'm
Novak,
assuming, yeah.
yeah, it's okay. This is one of those things where it didn't always make sense to me, but I think this is what happens. Like,
Yeah.
he hypnotizes her in order to get into her mind and see if she can give him anything about the kidnappers, where she was that whole time, or anything. And then he brings her out of it, and he tells Clark he can't. it's buried
Mhm.
way too deep in her. So he tries to get it out of her through hypnosis, but he's not able to, which is like,
Right.
whoa.
Yeah.
Which I also don't buy.
Why were they doing this at the planet though? Like, why were they at the planet? I don't get that.
They
They
would
were
have had to
having,
build a whole new set.
I was figured they just
Bonkers.
had all the kidnapped kids come in a line. All right, next. All right, next.
Exactly.
But they only showed us one of them. I don't know.
That's the answer
So
to every question on this episode. I don't know.
I don't know.
And next.
Yeah. So, but when Dr. Novak mentions the moon and the stars, Clark shakes his head, confused, and asks him to repeat what he just said.
What did you say? Moon and stars.
And then he stands up and says,
Wrong is right.
Mr. Cain.
like a robot, and he walks through the Daily Planet, ignoring Jimmy and looking again cross-eyed. My goodness.
I mean, Jimmy's talking about a missile launch.
Oh golly. Is this part over
Superman
yet?
needs to. Yeah, right. No.
Lois pops out of a taxi and sees Superman knocking down parking meters, repeating the phrase,
Wrong is right. Wrong is right.
and Lois is like, dude, Superman, no, like, stop it. And he just flies off. So that's happened. We see Superman being naughty. Lois is confused. We get it. Okay, let's move on. We're in Smallville
Sorry. No, wait. Now I have
Superman's
to make
naughty.
a comment just because the way that she says it's like, Superman, no. It's like, drop the tennis ball. Drop it.
now.
Oh.
It's a dog reference again. Kind of.
I think so. Be
Yeah.
a naughty boy.
Being so bad. Bad. Superman. And now we're in the NFIC section of this part where Superman's naughty and Lois. Julie, did you read that one?
I don't think I've read that one.
Okay,
Send me the
well,
link.
Molly, you got to get on that one. Write that one. And then Julie will read it. Molly is so lost. She's like, what are you guys talking
Molly's like,
about?
Huh? What?
Okay, so anyway, this is the best scene in the whole episode. Now we're in Smallville. Clark says that he just doesn't remember any of it. He woke up in his bed and in the suit, and he didn't know what to do, so he just went to Smallville. We get a lovely scene with Clark and his parents, beautifully shot. Anyway, his parents talk to him and explain that he could be susceptible to hypnosis just like anyone else.
Maybe whatever makes you different from us gives you the ability to fight off any negative suggestions.
But what if it doesn't?
Listen to me, Clark. The only way you're ever going to be truly safe is if you and Lois find this terrible person before he makes you do anything worse.
Martha tells Clark that he needs to find the person who's responsible. Yes, we do, so we can get this episode over with. That's my commentary on that. So,
Which will come back. A little later, Clark meets back up with Lois at the Magic Club. She wonders where he's been all day, and he gives an offhanded excuse that maybe he's getting the flu because he's been kind of out of it. Lois gets him up to speed on her conversation with Constance. She fully believes that Romick is behind the kidnapping and gets up to go backstage and snoop around. Romick sees her stand and corners her into volunteering for the next trick, the sword box. Clark doesn't think it's a good idea, but she says, "What's he going to do to me in front of all these people?" She goes up on stage and gets in the box, and we see Dr. Novak peeking from behind the curtain. Romick inserts the first sword, and Clark x-rays it. It's fake. Sword number 2, again, fake. Romick puts a blindfold on and goes to plunge the third sword straight through her chest, but Clark realizes that this one is real and melts it just in time. It bends and Romick is confused. He ends the trick with a joke that they don't make 'em like they used to. He throws a sheet over her and she disappears in a poof, box and all.
how
Yay.
stupid do you have to be to kill someone on stage in front of a crowd?
Oh, they would be like, it's an accident. We didn't mean to grab this sword,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's my thing. Clark's just sitting there with the most what expression. You have X-ray vision. Look down.
Mm-hmm.
Look
Look.
around. It takes him
Yeah.
a while to find
Sure
her.
does.
Yeah.
So on his worried face, we cut to Lois coming down a slide into the basement, that famous scene that we see in the opening credits. She comes across Nick sitting in front of a TV in a trance. On the TV, we hear, "You are watching the Magic Channel." Over and over, way
And over.
too many times. Lois, too, falls under its spell. Clark x-rays the floor, finally, changes into Superman, and comes busting in through the ceiling like the Kool-Aid Man. Why were there no stairs? He could have went down the
Yeah.
slide. That could have been fun.
Yeah. He's
But yeah, he
fast.
just comes
Why
busting in.
Not what he does.
wreck the building? Why don't you?
He can bust something, he will.
I wonder how many times he's been sued.
A few
That's
times.
coming up.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
get
true.
there.
We'll get there.
But yeah, there's a slide right next to where he's busted in the ceiling. Come on, go down the slide. That's funner.
Mhm.
We want
I
to see
know.
that.
We've already seen him from an awkward angle in this episode. Maybe it's
Yeah,
enough.
True.
That's true.
True.
So he ends up smashing the TV and removing a VHS tape. They snap out of it pretty quickly, and Superman explains that it had a subliminal message to wait for further instructions. Apparently, Superman's eyes work faster, and he was able to destroy it in time before it, got him too.
Yeah, he was able
As-
to like see what the message was or something he said. He was like, I could see what that subliminal message was. Okay, good. You're faster than the average human. And yet, earlier in the episode, a little
Mhm.
clock put you under. Okay, sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So how did he see? I don't know. Whatever. Skip it.
Keep it going. No.
Moving on. As they're leaving, Nick notices the box that he was in. Lois comments, "At least we know there's nothing surprising about this trick anymore," and she opens the lid for some unknown reason. We see Dr. Novak, dead. She slams it shut. Superman sees and believes that Novak probably figured out that it was Romek and confronted him, leading to his death. Well, he's close, but not exactly. Just then, Romek shows up and denies everything. It is then that Constance shows up and reveals that she is the mastermind behind it all, and she even hypnotized Romek into killing Novak. This must have happened right after the sword, because he was watching all of that. So, he's only been dead a few minutes.
He was still warm, probably.
Yeah, he's definitely still warm, because it's only been a few minutes.
Wow.
She
Superman,
then triggers... Yeah.
you kind of suck.
They didn't even... Yeah, what if he wasn't, dead? They could have,
They could have saved him. Check his vitals,
him.
man. Come on. They just look at him and like, well, he's gone.
Yep.
Way to
and
give
shut the
up.
door.
Way to give up. Come on. Do better.
He does that a lot. He constantly is like, "Oh, they're dead."
Yeah. Just looking at him.
They all need to go through some CPR classes and some first aid, because they never try to save anyone.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, unless
is
it's
up with that?
Lois. He'll save Lois,
Yeah.
but everybody else, they must be dead.
It's a little biased, I gotta say.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so Constance then triggers everyone's underlying hypnosis by saying the key phrase, moon and stars, and has each of them perform a dangerous act that would lead to their death. She has Romek climb a tall ladder and says to fly back down. She has Nick get into the sword box and has Superman chain him into it. And she has Lois get into a giant tank, which is then going to fill with water. She directs Superman to fly into space to activate her 24-hour subliminal message magic channel thingamabobber. But as he's flying, Superman recalls his parents' advice that he may be able to fight it. He even hears Romic's "Fight it, Superman," and eventually snaps out of it. He flies back. Romic jumps, screaming,
I can fly! No, you can't, but I can.
Superman, the other.
cheesy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He unties Nick, and just as Lois is running out of air and about to drown, he decides to open her tank and save her. Why he didn't do that before saving the child who was in absolutely no danger, I don't know. Poor Lois is just swimming around in the water, about to die.
Because he knew that we were going to call him out, probably, if he went to Lois first before getting to the kid, because we're not being nice to him in this episode. So he's like, I better do
The
this
kid was-
because in 30 years, these 3 girls are going to be reviewing the episode and they're going to give me a hard time. So I better go do the kid first.
I'm giving him a hard time for going to the kid first. The kid was not
I
in
know.
danger. He was just laying there in a box.
True.
He was fine. Lois was
The only thing is-
dying.
I figure this all happens within a matter of 2 seconds anyway. It just seems longer on the show because they dragged it out a little bit, but it was probably only like 2 seconds.
Okay. I'll give him a pass, I guess. So Constance tries her moon and stars again, and Superman tells them that they can fight it. So they do. Good job, Superman. Commence the Hall of Mirrors craziness. Why is there a room of mirrors? I don't know. But Superman tells her that it is over, and she says that she is still the world's greatest magician. She somehow gets a hold of Lois and holds her at gunpoint as she walks through the mirrors. She says that she's learned everything from her father, but that no one would take her serious because she's a woman. So she taught Romic and used him as a front man. Superman ends up repositioning mirrors to confuse her enough to get the upper hand. He appears above her and she shoots shattered glass everywhere because it was just a mirror, not him. So she's caught. She's an idiot. Why would you think shooting Superman is going to do anything?
She didn't watch I'm Looking Through You.
Is this not public knowledge? She must not have. Is it public knowledge? I thought it was at this point.
I mean, there's been a couple people that have shot at him, but I don't know for sure that it's been like bullets ricocheted off of him necessarily. And maybe she doesn't read the news.
Maybe
That's
not.
possible.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so Superman got hypnotized at the carnival with the little watchy thing. We assume Nick got hypnotized when he was first kidnapped. We assume she hypnotized Darren Romick at some point. When did she hypnotize Lois? Did I miss that?
I guess the Magic Channel had to be
Magic
because there was
Channel
no
might have
other
done it.
time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because he says that the subliminal message was to wait for further instruction. So I'm going to say it's that.
Yeah, the moon and the stars activates her, but that could have been part of the message. Okay, cool.
As I drop my iPad on the floor.
Oh
Look.
no.
Come back. I need you. I won't remember what's happening.
The moon and the stars. Now you remember.
The stars.
Because I said that.
Okay. Maybe I do.
Welcome.
Okay. This next part's a little weird. So maybe you guys can explain this to me.
Just this
Okay.
next part?
So-
Julie, where have you been?
So they're back at the Daily Planet, and we see that Clark and Nikki are playing a 2-player game on 2 Game Boys. Are these Clark's Game Boys? Whose Game Boys are these?
Well, the Daily
Because
Planet,
Nikki-
well, the Daily Planet like has one because Jack is playing it, I think, in Fly
Yeah.
Hard. There's just a random
Yeah.
one around. Maybe the Daily Planet just has some.
So I was wondering,
break
Lois
room.
and Clark just play randomly when they're bored and have nothing to do. Because I remember Jack had it as well. But I was like, oh, they
Yeah.
have two, and they have the little connector.
Wow.
I'm gonna say they're playing Dr. Mario because that was my favorite two-player game. That's in my head. They're playing Dr. Mario.
Nice.
And they say that and Tetris can help erase some trauma for you if you've just had a trauma. So yeah, well
There you
done,
go.
I guess.
Well, he doesn't take it with him, so it must be Clark's. That's where I'm going. Nick's mother, Nick's mother shows up and reunites with her kid. They're all happy. She thanks them, and she wants them to thank Superman too. Just then, they leave, and Kat comes in her usual inappropriate attire, shocking everyone. We learned that Arthur Chow has married an exotic dancer of all people. Kat is all upset and is like, ugh, all that itchy clothes for nothing.
He married an exotic dancer.
Arthur Chow?
All that itchy, scratchy, high-necked wool, and he marries a woman that can wave hello with her belly button.
And then I like Lois's little quote here.
That's too bad, because I already had your wedding present all picked out.
You did?
Set of personalized stationery from the desk of Cat Chow.
She giggles and goes back to her desk. Wah, wah, wah.
Little Drummond symbol right here.
Ka-ching. Jimmy and Perry come strolling over. Jimmy comments that all of the strange behavior all over the world was linked to Constance. His angle is great minds think alike. Perry says, "That's brilliant, Jimmy." Jimmy has had it. He says he can't take it anymore and he's learned his lesson. Clark tells him that Perry really means it. Jimmy didn't even say chief, and anyway, Clark had Perry deprogrammed when Dr. Novak was there. He thanks Clark and he goes his own way. Clark asks Lois if she's still a skeptic. Of course she is. Nothing has changed. Clark tells Lois to close her eyes and count to 3. She does, and poof. A bouquet of red roses.
How did you...
If I told you, then it wouldn't be magic.
We cut to a florist on the street looking awfully confused and cash on his table. Good job, Superman.
That scene was cute. Yeah.
That scene was the best scene of the whole episode.
Yes. That scene in Smallville, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yay, we did it.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say to extend the discussion on this episode?
If we get some
Silence.
crickets
Opening my
chirping.
door.
Crickets chirping
Silence,
right
I
now.
say. All right. Well, hi, little Peppy Dog. She
Hello.
just brought her fluffmobile in
Crypto.
here.
Hi,
My big
Crypto.
fluffer. You're allowed to stand right there. That's it.
Jen, what was the wackiest excuse you heard Clark use in this episode?
The only excuse that I enjoyed it I wasn't enjoying any of it, but Lois asks Clark where he's been all day, and his excuse is that it must be the flu coming on. So his excuse was just being sick. I don't think it was anything great. So.
Okay. All right, Julie, did you notice any goofs or bloopers in this amazing 46 minutes of television?
I did notice a couple. The first one when he was flying in the teaser, you can see a little black clip on the side of his briefs. They didn't blur it out very well. When Kat is eating her banana, there's some continuity issues there with the peeling and unpeeling and peeling. When I wrote down when Penn is climbing the ladder. What
Yeah,
Romick, sorry.
That's his name. Yeah.
Romick. When Romick is climbing the ladder, he then shows back up on the floor about to climb the ladder, and then he's back on the ladder. So there's a little continuity issue there in the background.
Mhm.
When Lois gets her roses, you see a person in the background, and she kind of moves and then comes back because of the, switcheroo. So they could have probably get her out of there. Yeah, that kind of bugs me.
Oops.
And then this I say is a goof. Here's another one that I believe is a goof, but I don't know. The florist. How much did Clark pay for those roses? Because the sign says $15 and I don't believe he gives $15. I think it's like $3 bills. So I don't think he paid. I think he
Unless
shorts
they're
the
3
florist,
fives.
which is probably why. I think it's a $1 bill though. I'm gonna have to go back.
Wow, really?
Don't quote me on that, but I'll
Wow.
have to go
Between
back and look
this
at that.
and Snow Cone Gate, I think we can assume that they never meant us to be able to see the denominations of
Mhm.
these
Yes,
Yeah.
I think
monies
that's the
and
problem.
They're
See,
like,
I
no one
meant to
has
go
a
back,
70-inch
but
TV screen and HD. They'll never
exactly.
know. Just use this.
I meant
Here's $1.
I meant to go back, but I didn't really
Mhm.
want to watch it again, so I didn't. But I don't believe it's $15.
Fair.
So if anybody wants to check that, feel free. But that's it.
Okay, cool.
My thing, I guess this would go under goofs and or just things I'm angry about, is that the box that Nikki climbs into and supposedly gets kidnapped in, they keep saying it has a moon and stars on it, but it has no moons on it. There are no moons on that box. It is stars and a suns and some celestial stuff, zodiac stuff.
Oh.
Then when Lois and Clark are at the Magic Club, they're like, doesn't that look like the thing the boy described to us? Well, yeah, that one has moon and stars. That one definitely has moons on it. And then later in the episode, they're like, oh, they bought two matching boxes and they're the same. So you're supposed to kind of think, oh, it's that trick where one box like takes you to the next box. Their budget could only afford one box. There's one box in this episode. There are no moons on it, and it annoys me.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, no, good point.
What annoys me about this stupid box, and this is probably just a me thing, is that they keep saying that it's shiny. Even the kid says, I remember that it was shiny. And I'm like, I don't see that as a shiny box.
No.
It was kind of the inside, the cloth had a somewhat of a sheen to it, kind of. I mean, it was like gold. I guess it didn't really shine though.
Yeah, it was gold. Yeah.
But I think,
Yeah.
I think that kid, because if that kid had wanted or was able to give any good information, why wouldn't he have said it was a blue box? Never do they mention the color of the box. He might be colorblind. I don't want to,
Yeah.
get mad at him for not saying it's blue, but that would have been a pretty big clue.
Yeah.
Jen, were there any feathered, furry, four-legged, or otherwise friends in this episode?
One cow, lots of geese, dove. That's what I found. I didn't count them.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
85 times more than in the last couple episodes, so I'm
Any
actually...
Smallville episode, this was like a million times more. So yeah, this is good for the animals. That's about it.
All right, our acronym of the week this week, we actually have two. It will tie into our special feature you'll hear a little later in this episode. The acronyms are ABC and BBC. ABC stands for American Broadcasting Company, and it's the network on which Lois and Clark aired for 4 seasons between 1993 and 1997. ABC aired on different TV channels depending on where you were in the country. Like some people might have to tune in to channel 6 or 8. Here in Portland, ABC aired on channel 2. Julie, what channel did you get ABC on?
Channel 6. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We have a complicated relationship with ABC because, while it did bring us our show, it also took it away under unfriendly circumstances. So I don't know about you, but I'm still a little bit bitter. BBC stands for British Broadcasting Corporation, and it aired Lois and Clark beginning in 1994 in Great Britain. In the 90s, you had 2 different channels with different programming over there, BBC One and BBC Two. The New Adventures of Superman, our show, aired on BBC One. The channel has officially been broadcasting since 1936.
Wow.
Fun facts for all. Well, I'm here to talk about any real life people, places, or events. Clark pointed out a Remington bronze statue, and that's the artist Frederick Remington, born in 1861, died in 1909. We got some mentions of people who I feel like all get mentioned later on our show. Dr. Freud, aka Sigmund Freud, born in 1856, died in 1939. Princess Di, aka Diana, Princess of Wales, 1961 to 1997. The Queen of England,
Madonna.
the Pope. Jimmy also mentions perhaps wanting to be assigned to do a story in Florida or Tahiti. And that's what I got.
Yay.
And now it is time. It is time to rate our episode on a scale from F plus to F minus. No, I'm kidding. From A plus to F minus. How do you rate this episode, Jen?
This episode isn't the worst, but it's definitely annoying. There is zero progression in the Lois and Clark relationship, nothing flirty. The kids' storylines kind of suck, but still Lois and Clark. We get to see Clark's parents in that really gorgeous scene in Smallville. The cinematography is amazing there. I could watch that one on repeat and be fine. We also see the Daily Planet. Some of those fun sidelight characters like Kat trying to dress up as a librarian is kind of funny. She has, I mean, when she has her little subplots, I think they're entertaining. The Perry stuff was okay, where he gets hypnotized. And the last scene with the roses was cute, but it's not enough to bring my grade up. Sorry. I struggled with this one big time. It's on par with the boxing episode. I looked back to see what I rated that one. I gave that one a C minus. I don't know if I could choose one or the other, so I'm going with C minus once again.
All right, for me, the first half of this episode, I was watching it and I was actually kind of enjoying it. I hadn't seen it in forever. I was starting to think, wait, maybe this episode's better than I remember. And then the second half completely sunk it. Actually, I think Constance sunk it. Constance sucks. She's annoying. I do not like. But this episode, like you said, has some great scenes like Clark and his parents and Kat's plot. I don't really care for Jimmy and Perry's plot personally. But yeah, other than that, there are some cute moments. And even though I saw this one back then, or at least half of it back then, when it originally aired, nostalgia isn't strong enough to save it. I also give it a C minus.
Nice.
Okay, for me, I don't like this episode either. This is down there near the bottom for me for season 1, especially having had so many good ones already. This does not have enough sweet moments with Lois and Clark. There's really isn't any, except for that end rose scene, which I think is cute. And
But it's so
then,
fast.
it's not, it's definitely not long enough. I do enjoy the cat plot during this episode. I think it's pretty funny seeing her as the straight woman, not the crazy person. And then her finally breaking out of it is pretty funny. And then ultimately to find out that, hey, she may have had a chance to marry this guy had she just been herself. So be yourself. That's my thought. That's the whole point of this episode. Be yourself. Don't hide behind something else. But ultimately, I agree, and I gave it a C minus.
Wow, is that the
Whoa.
first time this has happened?
Yes.
I think this is the first episode we completely agree on the rating.
Wow. First one.
Huh.
It only took us, what number is this, 14?
We were close on like a couple of them. We were really, really close, like just like a plus or a minus apart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
interesting. Very good.
Now don't go anywhere because today we have a special report on Lois and Clark, the new adventures of Superman around the globe. Lois and Clark may have originated in the United States, but it was soon airing on TVs around the world. I've gathered information about when and where it aired with help from Wikipedia, the IMDb, and from our friends and followers on Instagram. I'll try to credit everyone who contributed, but please forgive me if I mispronounce your usernames. I'll do my best. Lois and Clark premiered on September 12th, 1993, and on that same night it also debuted in Canada and South Korea. The show began broadcasting in the United Kingdom in January 1994. It aired on Saturday nights on BBC One. The British channel Sky got the rights to air the 4th season first, though. Typically, the episodes would air a few weeks or months after they aired in the United States, but that got switched in season 4. British folks actually got the last 3 episodes of the series before U.S. audiences did. Folks Stewart from the And Why Not podcast and Nikki Boyketts let us know that they watched Lois and Clark in the UK. Between 1994 and 1995, LNC made its way to many other countries, including France. Folk Pack 6 Girl watched Lois and Clark there, where it was dubbed into French and went by the title Lois et Clark, Les Nouvelles Adventures de Superman. Paxi Girl recalls watching the reruns of the show during the summer holidays around 6 p.m. So about that dubbing, Clark and Superman were voiced in French by Emmanuel Curtil, who's had a long career dubbing voices for actors like Mike Myers, Matthew Perry, and Kyle Chandler. Claire Gale, who was the French voice of Lois, also did the voice of Ariel in multiple projects for Disney, and was the voice of Buffy in the French dub of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show. In May 1994, Australia got its first glimpse of the show. Folk Miss Piggy 1983 watched Lois and Clark there and told us that it started out on Channel 7 and eventually moved to Channel 9. It would air at 7:30 p.m., but the day it aired got moved around a bit. We also heard from Australian folks Tony.C.9 and 18TM Travel. Germany and Austria began airing the show in August of 1994. The episodes were dubbed into German. Lois was voiced by Marion von Stengel, who also did the German dubs for Teri Hatcher's characters in Tomorrow Never Dies and 2.5 Men. Clark's German voice was done by Sascha Drager. He was the German voice of Starbuck in the original Battlestar Galactica, and he played Skeeter on the animated show Doug. Folk Piece of Rod watched Lois and Clark in Austria, where it aired on a channel called ProSieben on Friday nights. Lois and Clark found its way to Italy in October 1994 and to Sweden that November. Folk M. Sevums told us that in Sweden the show was subtitled and aired on the channel TV4 on Sunday nights. Folk Margarida B. Pereira watched the show in Portugal beginning in 1994 and told us it ran at a rather late hour. The show also aired there with subtitles. Later on, Lois and Clark aired in Portugal on their Disney Channel. Folk Van May 82 watched Lois and Clark in Belgium. There, it ran on channel La Une, and it had subtitles. Folk All-Star Superman told us that in Ireland, Lois and Clark aired on Saturday nights on Network 2, and that Ireland got the episodes a couple of weeks ahead of the UK. In 1995, the show spread to Argentina and Mexico. There, the show was dubbed into Spanish and featured an entire cast of Spanish-speaking actors dubbing the voices. In some, if not all, Latin American countries, the show aired on Warner TV, aka the Warner Channel. In 1996, Lois and Clark made its way to Croatia, and in 1998 it began airing in Finland, Estonia, and Romania. The show has also aired in Hungary, Israel, Russia, and Switzerland. Some countries did change or alter the title of the show. Most of them are merely some variation on the title. Here are a few. Superman, The New Adventures of Superman. Superman, The Adventures of Lois and Clark. Lois and Clark, Superman's New Adventures. You get the idea. Some of the episode titles were also changed when airing elsewhere. Some of my favorites include Robot Crime, Christmas with Mr. Mixes-Pedelik, Oedipus the Ugly Duckling, Together to Noah's Ark, Superman on the Couch, Ratings Matter, Superman Always Rings Twice, and It's Time to Have a Family. I'll let you guess which language and which episodes those all originated from. When Lois and Clark was being advertised on television around the world, the promos were often specific to whatever country they were serving. We have a handful of these promos to share with you, so be sure to keep an eye on our Instagram over the next few weeks. We've actually already shared a few of these already, but there are more to come. Thank you to everyone who told us about when, where, and how they watched Lois and Clark. We're happy you found the show. And of course, we're happy you found this podcast.
Well, thank you to everyone for listening today. If you're following along with us, our next episode will be Season 1, Episode 15, Ides of Metropolis.
You can find us on Instagram or Blue Sky as Folks Forever. That's FOLCS FOREVER. Or you can visit our website at folksforeverpod.wixsite.com/podcast. And until next time, please enjoy this amazing little ditty.
Constance hides behind a front man, pretends to know nothing but has a plan. Magician's box, the kid steps in. Nikki's gone, the chaos begins. Superman stumbles, caught in her spell, knocking down meters, a story to tell. Illusions of grandeur, chasing the night. Truth bends, twists, slips from sight. Who's the hero? Who's the thief? In a world built on disbelief. Lois digs deep, ink-stained hands. Clark's disguise a shifting strand. The ransom note, a chilling clue. A child's fate, a tale askew.